Welcome to Mindalia TV. We are with Mahapragyananda. It's the teacher of the project Ananda Marga. We will talk about the connection between spirituality and society. Before, thank you very much to accept our invitation and be here.
Thank you. A pleasure to be here.
So it's important to the society integrate and know about spirituality.
Very much, very much. I mean, the values is the base of society. People's values, human values, moral values, ethical values, and that is rooted, must be rooted in spirituality. But may I begin with a greeting?
Yeah, of course.
In the yogic tradition, we have a meaning that's beautiful and deep, a greeting with a deep and beautiful meaning. Mm-hmm. You've probably seen it before, the gesture, and maybe in the word you've heard. So we say namaskar. And it means that the divinity within me salutes, greets that divinity in you with all the mind and all the love of the heart. Mm-hmm.
Okay. It's very beautiful to practice in presence this with you. Thank you. So the project and the practice you do, you feel that we can do it in the modern society we have right now?
Absolutely. And we are doing. So you said earlier that I'm representing the project Ananda. Do you want me to look at you or at the camera?
Whichever. You choose. It's okay.
So, hello.
I do the both.
Okay. So just to clarify, because you said that I'm involved with the project called Ananda, that is the name of the organization or the movement. Mm-hmm. And it means the path of bliss. And Ananda Marga is we say a social and spiritual, or spiritual and social movement or organization. So we combine together the teachings of meditation and yoga, lifestyle practices related to that based on the ancient history and traditions of yogic practice, together with a very strong emphasis on social involvement, social action, community service, community development work, and social change work.
Yeah, but I feel, I don't know if my intuition is okay, but it's do the practice. It's very deeply the practice sometimes with meditations, and the modern life we have very much people, much information, and sometimes we stay confused.
Confused and distracted.
Yeah.
One of my colleagues and friends, he tells, that our phones, our laptops, and we call it weapons of mass distraction.
Yeah.
So, yes, it's a challenge, for sure. Certainly it's a challenge. But since thousands of years, people who have been practicing meditation and the yogic practices and different types of spiritual practice or mystical traditions have not only been monks or cloistered away, hidden away from society or separated, but married people, active citizens, people who lived in the society, who had responsible positions, who held ordinary jobs, who raised families, while also pursuing those practices. And that's the ideal that though I'm a monk personally, but that's very much the ideal that we hold up and we promote as a movement, that you don't need to be away from or aloof from society to go deeply in spiritual practice. Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. And the values you think that we can, in the organizations, we have schools, we have jobs, and we can go with these values and do it in our relations in jobs, in schools, with our children?
Yes, we can. And in fact, that's what we must do in the sense that the deepest values at the base of spirituality, the ethical values, the human values, the cardinal human values that all of humanity, all cultures, all races almost have always respected and regarded, need to be put into practice in our daily lives and in our institutions. And many people agree today, one of the main problems in our society is corruption. Corruption of values. And so it's because there's this gap there's this lack of walking our talk, isn't it? A popular way of expressing it in English now. There's hypocrisy, there's corruption, there's a gap between what leaders and ordinary people say and what they do. So we see it, very recently, just a week or two ago, the rainforests burning in Brazil set alarm bells off all over the world. It's obvious that there are certain things humanity holds close to their heart. And when those are not respected, we don't like it. So we must take our values and put them into practice, and especially our leaders in society and the institutions that we create have to reflect those values.
And how can we introduce this bliss in this moment, and this vow is not so good?
How to introduce expressing our good values? No. Well, by a lot of people already are. So it's about standing up for what you know is right. It's about voicing and your views clearly when things are going wrong. And so and about potential leaders, candidates for political office, for example, or people in any position of responsibility in society becoming the embodiment, becoming an example of those. And more we see, and people like that are, well, we see both things in the world today. We see people with not, at least what I consider, not very proper values being promoted into high positions of responsibility, and at the same time we see a very strong response to that. So activism, in social activism, popular movements, there's more of that type of activity now in the society than has been maybe since the 60s. There's a resurgence, a growing again, because people want things to be done right. Mm-hmm. So,
And the focus, it's important be in us first, then society, or we can think first in, oh, it's more important be or put the focus in society than us.
they're both equally important, and they have to be done together. So that's why we need to, there's so much dichotomy or division in that way, and now and historically. And what we need is to create synthesis. So as individuals become better in themselves, grow in themselves, they also have more to contribute, more clarity, more inner strength, more conviction, and to contribute to making society and social reality better for everyone. And at the same time, society should be promoting individual personal growth, individual development, and all levels of our being. So they have to be synthesized. They have to be integrated. We need a holistic and integrated way now of development, self and society.
I need to do a question to you. How can we?
Many already. You can do more.
How can we do the right practice to feel blessed all moments in our life?
Feel blessed all moments of our life. Very good question. I've been working on it for a few decades now. Well, I'm a teacher of meditation, so I have a bias. Meditation is certainly a practice that, with the right approach to it and the right practice, helps us in that regard, should result in that regard. And ultimately, it's about in training our minds, directing our minds to and the heart, yes. But in the case of, thank you, yes, but about connecting the mind and the heart, but training the mind to perceive that, to it's about attitude. It's about our outlook on life, and that's something that each of us can create shifts in, create changes for by the way we reflect on our circumstances and attitude and learn to see things from a new perspective. So it's like, there's an old saying, and they use it in psychology, you can see a cup that's half full, and someone will see it half empty, and someone will see it half full. And it's a matter of shifting your perspective. So there's an old practice in the spiritual traditions that you try to replace a negative with the opposite positive. So one way of doing it, when you're confronted with something or you're feeling full of negativity towards something or someone, you find the way to turn that into the opposite positive thing. If I don't like you, or
it's not true.
But if I don't like you or I don't like the things you do, I should do something good for you, do something good to you, for example. So meditation is a practice, and nowadays, fortunately, we live in this exciting and wonderful time of human history where so many ancient wisdom and traditions and knowledge are being objectively verified through methodical research. So, for example, now when we know about things like neuroplasticity or epigenetics, we're learning about how the mind and body interact and actually our incredible potential for changes by the way we utilize or direct our mind. So it's a matter of training. Meditation is also a way of training our mind, by filling it with positivity, with filling it with things that elevate our consciousness or expand our awareness or help us understand the focus or power of awareness.
Thank you very much.
You're most welcome. Thank you.
To you, thank you to be here, and please subscribe our channel. It's the way you can support our job. See you in next videos.